TSN presents the 5th race of the 2012 NASCAR Canadian Tire Series, presented by Mobil 1. We're at Motoplex Speedway, just on the outskirts of Vernon, British Columbia, as we get ready for the A&W 300. We're cruising the knob of the Okanagan Valley. I'm Dave Bradley, along with Billy Rouse Jr. and Todd Lewis as trackside. Billy, the BC NASCAR fans have turned out once again as we get set to run the longest race of the season.
Well, the longest race, Dave, and this is a tricky little D-shaped oval. It might be small at 1/2 mile, but I'll tell you what, she's got some tricky corners. Turn 3 can bite you if you overdrive the corner, but the real mastery here is turn 2. You got to get the car to turn in the middle and get off the corner without hitting the fence.
And Billy, as we said before, it is the longest race of the year. We have a handful of new drivers making their first start of the season.
And some are making their very first NASCAR start.
And those guys have been slugging it out for the past 4 races. As we see, D.J. Kennington has control in the points race for the first time this season. Andrew Ranger, J.R. Fitzpatrick, though, hot on his heels.
And Dave, don't count out the 22 Canadian Tire Dodge of Scott Steckley. He's been stout here at Vernon in the past.
And let's send it down to Todd Lewis, who can update us on the day's events. Todd?
After a 3-week break in the schedule, these NASCAR participants were ready to get back in the cars, and none more so than the number 17 Castrol Edge Dodge driver D.J. Kennington. Kennington has won the last 2 races in dominating fashion. If he's looking to make it 3 in a row, he's got a tough test ahead of himself tonight, because the 22 of Scott Steckley has owned victory lane in the Okanagan Valley. Scott Steckley has struggled, though, in the last 2 races. Steckley has gone back to a setup that seems more suited to his driving style and has been successful here in this race tonight. But earlier today, qualifying was dominated by another Dodge, the number 60 of Ron Beauchamp Jr. in the Mopar Parts Dodge. He put in a blistering lap of 18.446 seconds with a speed of a little over 97.5 miles per hour. Beauchamp has scored a pole before, but guys, he is still looking for his first victory in the series. Maybe it comes here tonight at Motoplex Speedway.
We'll have to see, Todd. Let's send it down to Adam Ross, our public address announcer for tonight's command.
And now, fans, for the words we've been waiting for, let's welcome A&W franchisee Wyatt McMurray and A&W Senior Operations Manager Patty Farmer.
Guys, fire these puppies up!
Ronnie Beauchamp Jr. brings that big Mopar to life for his first pole of the season.
His 4th career NASCAR pole as we take a look at this great field of NASCAR Canadian Tire Series race cars. The 14 of James Van Domselaar will carry an onboard camera. The 47 LP Dumoulin, he's quick in practice here today and will also ride on board with the 09 of Riley Siebert, making his 2nd NASCAR start. Taking a look at the Pizza 73 starting lineup. Ron Beauchamp Jr. in the 60 will start on pole. Scott Steckley, the defending series champion, on the outside. D.J. Kennington, he's your points leader alongside the 02 of Mark Dilley. Row number 3 is J.R. Fitzpatrick in the 84. Jason Hathaway still looking for his first win of 2012. Jim White in the 24 and Andrew Ranger in the 27 make up row number 4. And then we look back to row number 5. There is Riley Siebert in the 09 and LP Dumoulin in the 47. Row 6 is Jason White in the 21, racing in front of hometown fans. And Trevor Siebert drives the 69. Martin Roy in the 90 and row number 7. And Jared Whistle in the 44. Looking back to row number 8, big welcome back to Kevin Dowler driving the 35. He'll start alongside his son, Noel Dowler, in the 5. There's James Van Domselaar in the 14. Mike Schultz drives the 11. That's row number 9. Row 10 has DeLorme in the 33 and Hankowicz in the 49. And that is your starting lineup here today. And we'll take a look at E3 Sparkplugs race analysis. It's a half-mile D-shaped oval and will run 300 laps, making 150 miles here today. The winner last year, Scott Steckley, in the 22. And Billy, you'll now get a chance to chat with our in-race reporter.
D.J. Kennington, Billy Rouse Jr. at Tower. You got a copy?
Loud and clear, Billy.
DJ, you had a strong car here in practice. What's the plan? It's a long race.
Well, the Castrol Edge Major Tractors Dodge has been awesome. It's been good the last 2 oval races, and we're just going to try to take our time here if we can. This is a tough racetrack, 300 laps, and hard on tires and brakes and so on. So you're going to try to put this thing on cruise control, and I've lost a couple of these races here. It's late in the race, so I've learned my lesson. Hopefully we'll be able to put a show on here at the end.
Thanks, DJ. Good luck tonight.
No problem, buddy.
Well, he has been the bridesmaid here for the last 2 years. Let's see how he does tonight. With more news, here's Todd Lewis with tonight's Leland lead up to the green. Todd?
Well, fellas, NASCAR racing is about family, and it's definitely family night tonight here at Motoplex Speedway. Jim White has joined his brother Jason White in the field tonight. In fact, Jim had a sparkling qualifying effort. He'll roll off 7th, and in fact beat Jason in this race by 1 position last year. Jason's looking to better him. Riley Siebert makes a start tonight. Of course, we know his dad, Trevor Siebert, from a number of NASCAR starts, and also the Dowlers. Noel Dowler, of course, who participated last year. His dad, Kevin Dowler, also a veteran stock car racer. We'll be seeing him next week at Edmonton on the road course, but he joins his son Noel in the field tonight.
And that must be a thrill to start alongside your son in a NASCAR Canadian Tire Series race as the field lines up 2 by 2. Paul Hollins, the CEO of A&W Canada, waves the green. We're underway in Vernon.
Down into turn 1 for the first time, side by side. Tricky turn 2 coming up. Oh, the 11 up out of the groove, Dave.
And the 60 of Ron Beauchamp Jr. gets all kinds of loose here on lap number 1. We're still side by side in the front of the field. Look at this field jockeying for position.
Side by side action all the way back to the back of the field.
What a great shot of this half-mile D-shaped oval. There you can see the front stretch. Not really a straightaway at all, as now Beauchamp noses into the lead. He'll drop the 22 of Scott Steckley back in position on the outside.
Well, turn 3 is tricky as well. You got to get the car down into the corner and settle. You can't overdrive the corner because it gives you that false sense of security that there's lots of room. And right there, turn 2. You don't want to be in the outside. They're giving that wall lots of respect right now, but later on, they'll be giving it lots of tire rubs is what they'll be doing.
Important for the 60 of Ron Beauchamp Jr. as he gets those all-important bonus points for leading laps here in the A&W 300. But look who's right on his back bumper. The winner of the last 2 oval races, the Castrol Dodge of D.J Kennington.
Well, DJ told us on the radio he was just going to put the thing on cruise control and see what happens. Man, I'll tell you, if that's cruise control, that's one strong race car.
Well, there he goes, looking for the lead on the inside. Now he's got J.R. Fitzpatrick in the Equipment Express Chevy up on the outside. Fitzpatrick gets a little loose, so he'll back off, but still side by side for the lead.
Dave, what was important, you watch the car, the 17 car turns the middle, like I said earlier. That's what the deal is. Watch it, down into the corner, turn 2 is straight. Turn the hook and get on the throttle. Look, he pulls half a car length to a car length just by hitting the car to turn the middle.
Beauchamp up on the outside, losing ground now as the 84 Fitzpatrick battles to the inside. He'll take over second spot. Now, if you remember, the 17 and the 84 had quite a dice at Delaware Speedway the last time out, but problems for the 84. And that relegated to a finishing position way back in the field as the 17 went on to win.
And Mark Dilley gets down to the inside of the 60 of Ron Beauchamp Jr. That's for 3rd spot.
Thrown on board quickly with the 22 of Scott Steckley. He's been hanging out inside the top 5 ever since the start of this race. He did get caught in that outside groove, which hasn't really come in here yet today. Again, we talked about it off the top of the show. It has been pretty warm, pretty muggy here.
Well, when you practice in the heat, Dave, remember we always use the bottom of the racetrack. It would be kind of smart if we went out and put cones down and broke the outside in, but the racers were never that smart when it comes to going the fast way around a racetrack.
And now Beauchamp finally gets that Mopar Dodge tucked down into that inside groove, but here comes Steckley. He'll poke a nose.
Whoa, poke a nose, all right. A little bit of bumper tag, move them out of the way, and take advantage they do, as here comes the 3 car to steal a spot as well.
And the 60 of Beauchamp will drop all the way back to 6th position as Hathaway in the Snap-on Dodge will steal a spot as well. There's Andrew Ranger, 7th position for the 27, and the 24 of Jim White having a very good run behind the wheel of that Dodge, making his first start here in 2012.
Well, he's in a pretty good piece as well. The 24 car is being crew chief by Brian McDonald, and that car is out of the Steckley shop as well.
And it was actually the oval car that Steckley drove last season, so you know it's good.
Well, it knows its way to victory lane here, that's for sure.
And Jim White racing along with his brother, and their father also raced too. They own the White Group of companies, proud to have them on board our telecast here tonight. And a change for the lead as the 84 of J.R. Fitzpatrick goes past the 17 of D.J Kennington.
Wow, DJ made him work for it. He did the old crossover deal down the backstretch. These are 2 fierce rivals on the racetrack, but best of friends off.
So J.R. Fitzpatrick and the 84 continues to open up a little bit of a gap on the 17 as they put together some laps. And look at Beauchamp. He wants to get back to the front. A little bumper tag between the 3, the 60, and the 24 as the caution waves for the first time here at Motoplex Speedway. So debris on the front straightaway is what we're hearing from NASCAR Timing and Scoring. That's the reason for the yellow flag here in the A&W 300, and that'll bunch the field once again, and it'll give us a chance to catch our breath a little bit. We're 21 laps in, so just getting going here in Vernon, BC. The fifth race of the 2012 NASCAR Canadian Tire Series, presented by Mobil 1, is brought to you by Canadian Tire. Love of racing, bring it on. By Mopar, authentic performance. By Castrol Edge, our best Castrol ever. And by the White Group of Companies.
That's the 14 car of James Van Domselaar in for a chassis adjustment and back out to join the field.
An early chance to work on that chassis and make that car feel a little bit better, but an absolutely perfect night for racing here in beautiful Vernon, British Columbia at Motoplex Speedway. J.R. Fitzpatrick is your leader as we work lap 25 of 300. The first restart, we're back underway.
Up through the gearbox one more time. The 17 and the 84 jostling for position, but they quickly get single file.
And we can tell you that the 49 earned the VTEC free pass that time out. Single file at the front, as you mentioned, Billy, and the 02 of Mark Dilley ducks to the inside, and the 22 of Scott Steckley. They'll rub a little bit.
Well, they used to be stablemates last year. The Dilley automobiles were all prepared out of the 22 shop. Now, Kerry Mix in the 02 has given up the ovals for Mark. And you know what? Every race he's been with us, he's been stout.
Got to take our hat off, though. You can see the 3 car, Jason Hathaway, having an absolute dynamite run here tonight. He is battling with the 22 as a change for the lead. Back and forth go the 17 and the 84. Now put D.J. Kennington back in the top spot.
Wow, one more time, they swap it up front, and he's on cruise control. I'll tell you what, that's one strong Dodge.
Couple of brothers battling side by side. Jim White in the 24, the 21 of Jason White to the outside. They'll race clean all night, I'm pretty sure. Oh, problems down. The 14 of Domselaar, and the 49 Anguich goes around, and that'll draw the second caution of the evening. Have another look.
Down into turn 3. Oh, the 14 gets spun by the 49.
Yeah, a little bit of contact there. You saw the camera shake, and now the 09 of Riley Siebert stopped on the back straightaway in heavy smoke. That car is on fire as the NASCAR officials quick to get there with a fire extinguisher, but tough break for the youngster. The Lake Excavating a Ford Fusion. Riley Siebert walking back, and Todd standing by is going to try and get a word with him. Todd?
Riley Siebert out of the car, frustrated. Appeared to have some fire under the hood. Is that the case?
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I mean, I just started smelling some flames or smelling smoke, and I didn't know if it was me or the guys in front of me. So I just kind of held on for another lap, and then all of a sudden it lit up, and so I just decided it was best to get out of there. And so I don't know what happened. It looked like maybe under the dash or something. But.
Sorry to see you out.
A strong late model runner here at Motoplex Speedway. As night ends early, Riley Siebert is out of this one. D.J. Kennington, your leader. Welcome back to Motoplex Speedway in Vernon, BC. We're working lap 35 of the A&W 300. J.R. Fitzpatrick leads as we get set for the second restart of the night.
And Davey takes that inside preferred line, heading down into turn 1. D.J. Kennington trying to get down to the bottom. Billy's there, but he's able to get the spot.
And J.R. Fitzpatrick starting on the inside in top spot because we didn't complete a full lap. That puts him back one lap. These two drivers have been swapping positions lap after lap. As here we've got another swap of position deeper in the field. The 3 car of Jason Hathaway in the 22. Now look at the 60 up on the outside.
A little bit of paint swapping going on for position. It's a little early for that stuff, but you know, you got to do what you got to do when you drive these race cars.
Scott Steckley absolutely sawing on the wheel.
Wow, you can hear him get on the power, and that thing is moving around quite a bit on him. He's having trouble with forward bite. That's the problem. We talked about how well the 17 automobile was getting off of the corner. See him turn the wheel back to the right? Things go to the left, okay? To the right ain't a good thing.
Call that loose off, right?
Absolutely right.
Up on the outside, the 84, Fitzpatrick will give the space to the 17, and Kennington goes back into the lead, but look at Mark Dilley in the Leland Ford. Right there on the back bumper.
That's impressive, Dave, but you got to understand, by sharing a ride here, we now have 2 drivers, two crew chiefs and two crews all putting their heads together. Reno Martineri is the crew chief for that car right now with Dilly driving it. He's pretty sharp, and Mixie told me he really likes working with him.
And of course, Kerry Mix will be back in that car for the Edmonton 100, our next road course race, a battle for 5th spot. Jason White, the A&W Dodge, is now on the back bumper, the Snap-on Rockstar Dodge of Jason Hathaway, and again for the lead. Here comes the 84 to the inside. These guys having a little dance at the front.
These guys are having way too much fun. I'll tell you what, they're good friends, good rivals, and they're putting a whale of a show on.
And you see the 17 car of D.J. Kennington able to use that apron just a little bit. Is that helping him turn?
You're all clear. Yeah, you're better when you come off of 4 lower. You're better when you come off 4 lower.
What Don's telling there is what you were asking me about the apron. When you put the car down, the left side's on the apron, it's a little flatter and it changes the wedge in the car, gives it more drive off the corner. Don Thompson Jr. being on that pit box is a darn good thing. We've talked about it a lot.
There's a good look at the 3 car of Jason Hathaway sitting in 5th position. Look at how tight the positions are in behind. The 24 of Jim White just took over 8th place from the 60 of Ron Beauchamp Jr. So we ride on board with Andrew Ranger in 7th. To hear the RPMs come up on the GCMI Dodge of Andrew Ranger as they work around the outside of an off-the-pace 44 of Jared Whistle. The Chevy not quite up to song here this afternoon, and the leaders working their way by around on the outside.
Well, Dave, a couple local guys are doing very well. The 21 of White having a good night, and he's just ahead of his brother in the 24. They're both looking to put a big show on for their home fans.
Well, Jason White told me earlier on this season that at the Mosport Oval at the Canadian Tire Motorsport Park is that he really needs to win a race this season, and this is a place that he would just love to reach victory lane for the first time.
Well, home track sponsor, the crews and the Dubs in town, pretty good place to put a number up if you ask me.
Andrew Ranger uses all of that apron to dive underneath the 21 of Jason White. And here comes Jim White, too. He'll tuck in behind his brother. Easy on the gas is Andrew Ranger as he tries to finesse the car. Now look at Jim White all the way to the inside. We're 3 wide, and Ranger's going to back out of it. While Jim White goes from 8th and now into 6th in 1 corner.
Wow, and he hammers the door shut in there as well. The 21, the 24 are going to go at it hard, but there's Ranger trying to get down 3 deep up off the corner.
Don't count out the pole sitter, Ron Beauchamp Jr. in the 60, the Mopar Dodge. He's right there as well. This is getting racy. It looks like the last 10 laps, and we got caution once again. And it's Hankwich in the 09 of Riley Siebert who was able to refire that car after an earlier fire down the backstretch. We'll have another look.
Down into turn 3, under braking. Oh, we can see the cars are already there. We're on board the Dowler machine, and the wreck had already occurred. Oh, there it is. The 49 tags him, and around he goes.
And Billy, pit road's open. Todd?
It's the 02 of Mark Dilly that makes a stop. They're turning a couple of rounds of wedge into the right rear, then sending him on his way.
A couple of rounds, Todd. That was about 6 rounds of wedge in the back window of that car. And here comes another few rounds in the 5 of Noel Dowler.
Well, Dave, forward bite seems to be the problem, but no problem up front for the 84 at J.R. Fitzpatrick.
Welcome back to the 2012 NASCAR Canadian Tire Series presented by Mobil 1. We're high above Motoplex Speedway as we get set for the 3rd restart of the A&W 300. And the VTEC free pass, that time going to the 33 of Bob DeLorme.
What a camera shot there as we go back to green, up through the gearbox. The inside lane is still the preferred group here tonight.
And boy, did it ever move, the 2 top cars coming from the inside lane on that restart as J.R. Fitzpatrick maintains top spot. Have a look and they come at you.
That's a great shot. D.J. Kennington hung out to dry on the outside, and he's dropping like a stone.
Scott Steckley into 2nd spot. 207 laps to go as everybody chases the 84 of J.R. Fitzpatrick. Andrew Ranger in the GCMI Dodge in the 27. He's now sitting in 3rd. Remember, his only oval track win has come right here at Motoplex Speedway.
Well, Dave, he took advantage of that inside row as it all moved, and they got D.J. Kennington trapped up on the outside. DJ maybe now will put that thing on cruise control, but he has to watch out from the backside. You don't want to get caught up in somebody racing.
Battle for 6th position as we ride on board the 60 Mopar Dodge of Ron Beauchamp Jr. How about that Veloz Dodge, the number 90 of Martin Roy, the rookie? He's showing very well. This is his first time here, and you know what? He's picked it up pretty quickly.
Well, he's run on lots of these little short tracks in his home province of Quebec, so I didn't expect him to have a big problem here.
Running to the outside of the home track hero, the 21 of Jason White. Now this is back at the front. D.J Kennington up on the outside of the 27 as Andrew Ranger starts fighting for second spot. Taking a look to the inside of the Canadian Tire Dodge of Steckley, and Ranger will go through.
Here comes Kennington back on the bottom. That Mopar is strong tonight, and he wants to get it back to the front where it's safe.
Once Steckley gets bumped out of that inside groove, he can't seem to make it stick up upstairs, but look at the line that Ranger is running as compared to everybody else. It's so much lower than Kennington on entrance.
Well, you gotta remember the fast way around is the bottom, and when you arc it in, if there's a car on the bottom, you can't turn the middle, so it takes up a lot of racetrack.
To the outside, the 90 of Martin Roy. Trevor Siebert now working his way to the front of the field. The first we've seen of the 69, the Lake Excavating Dodge. And the 02 of Mark Dilley working his way back up through the field.
Well, Mark Dilley made a pit stop and put a ton of wedge in that race car, and he's making his way back to the front pretty darn quick.
He sure has. As we ride on board with the Vortex brake pads, Rockstar Dodge, Jason Hathaway in 11th position, but all over the back end of the 02.
Up front, it's all 84 J.R. Fitzpatrick.
He's there. Let him go quick. That's it. Perfect. Good job.
That's important. Let him go quick so you can get back in front of that 24. Jim White is coming.
Spotters are just as important as crew chiefs and drivers. They let you know all the good information, and they help you drive these race cars. And tonight we have a different spotter for D.J. Kennington. Brian Cathcart on the headset tonight for D.J. Kennington.
And as we mentioned a little bit earlier, we're used to seeing this 27 car of Andrew Ranger run at the front when we go on the road and street courses, but he has been fast here at Motoplex Speedway in the past, picking up his very first NASCAR oval track win in the Canadian Tire Series a few years ago, so you know he can get it done.
There's a good picture on board with DJ. Watch his hands, and I'll tell you how this race car is working.
The 24. Inside. Let him go quick.
Dave Jacobs, the car owner and mentor for the 27 of Andrew Ranger on the radio again. Another let him go quick as Andrew Ranger once again gets back to the inside behind the 24 of Jim White. Another Quebec driver in the field having a very solid run. Todd?
It's another step forward for the number 90 team of Martin Roy. He's run well and took over the rookie points lead after the race at Delaware, and this is a new car that they brought to Motoplex Speedway tonight. His crew chief, Mario Gosselin, built this car. They wanted it built a certain way, and it seems to be performing well so far as Martin has climbed inside the top 10 in the field.
Well, Mario Gosselin, just like Don Thompson Jr. to us guys, is a real master. He's drove all kinds of race cars, trucks, cars, ASA, and he's very smart. So he took this new Levitt chassis and did it his way, and it's paying dividends already.
Good battle for fourth position here between Scott Steckley. You see the little wave out of Steckley as he indicates back to the 27 of Andrew Ranger. Big thank you for not wrecking me or rubbing me too hard, but it doesn't look like the 27 car is quite done with him yet. And Todd is down in the infield with our first casualty of the evening.
You see the crew working on the 49 of Jason Ankowicz. This team has battled hard all day just to get in. They had some problems and had very limited practice. The clutch went out when he had contact out on the track earlier. They're trying to make some repairs and see if they can get Jason back out for a few more laps.
They're working on the right front suspension. The way that spindle was moving back and forth certainly have some steering issues.
Jim White goes to second in the 24 around the 84 of J.R. Fitzpatrick, who seems to be fading just a little bit, unable to keep pace with the Castrol Edge Dodge, the 17 of D.J. Kennington, who continues to lead here in the A&W 300.
Well, the 24 car having a great outing, but you got to remember that car has won here, including last year.
Billy, what about pit stops? Are they in their fuel window yet?
Well, they certainly are, Dave. We should have talked about it earlier. The crew chiefs have got to be starting to figure this race out backwards now. We're certainly within the 100-lap window.
Back on board the 14 of James Van Dam Solar as he follows around the 02 of Mark Dilley. Here's a side-by-side battle between the 90 of Martin Roy and the 60 of Ron Beauchamp Jr. That's a battle for eighth.
right behind them, we've seen the 5 of Noel Dowler. He's just soldiering along, having a very clean night.
He is keeping the nose of that Emco Dodge very clean. Off of 4 for the 17 of D.J. Kennington, and he will see the cross flags as we reach the Tim Hortons halfway update. We've had 4 leaders for 10 lead changes. Been a dynamite race so far tonight. 3 cautions slowed the field for a total of 19 laps, and the top first-time driver in the NASCAR Canadian Tire Series, the 33 of Bob Delore. And there you see the 11 of Mike Schultz. He's well down the running, but you know what? He's having a decent run here today. Most of his equipment purchased off the 21 of Jason White, so the equipment knows its way around this racetrack, but Mike Schultz just getting his feet wet in the NASCAR Canadian Tire Series, learning these tracks for the first time.
Well, you got to remember, he's a rookie and the equipment is a little aged, so he's just going to learn the race cars and learn the racetracks, and he's having a good outing.
Some of these drivers are going to be needing tires here soon. 8th place up for grabs, and we got a car around. It is the 02 Leland Ford of Mark Dilley, and that will be the reason for the 4th caution here this evening.
Well, Mark Dilley had already made a pit stop for a chassis adjustment. Let's just go on board and see what happened.
He had the leader coming. That's what happened.
Yeah, crew chief hollering his ear. You don't want to go a lap down. Pit road's open, and the leaders are in.
The 24 of Jim White, now the 22 of Scott Steckley will angle into his pit box and get fuel this time. Todd?
All the front runners making stops during this caution period. Now that we're past halfway, we'll see a variety of strategies. The 17 of DJ Kennington, they're going to change 2 right side tires here. Behind him, Andrew Ranger in the 27 is taking fuel. J.R. Fitzpatrick beats both of them out.
Now we should see most of the cars recycle around for another pit stop, but at this time it is J.R. Fitzpatrick, your leader. Scott Steckley, the driver of the number 22 Canadian Tire Dodge, decided not to pit last time around. He's your new leader here on lap 168 of the AW 300 as starter Sean Gibbs waves the green once again.
Well, fuel only will put wedge and rear weight back in the race car and tighten it up, but I'm a little bit concerned about the tire wear that he's going to see on that 22.
Yeah, we saw those cars really wiggling and shaking quite a bit in that first half of the race. How much rubber is left on those tires? That's a big question.
Well, it really depends on how well he conserved it, but you can see the car is plenty loose. And D.J. Kennington in the 84, they have fresh Goodyears, and they're hauling the mail.
Well, J.R. Fitzpatrick and Kennington both got right-side tires, so they'll wait till the next caution period, or maybe one a little bit later to get fresh right-side Goodyears, or left-side Goodyears. And here it comes. Around goes Noel Dowler, so they may get that caution before they really wanted to get it.
But you got to remember, so they really didn't. If the 22 pits now, he didn't gain anything, because what happens now, he's lost the track position to the 17 and the 84. The only thing that would help is if the 84 and the 17 decided to come get fresh left sides as well, and that would give them 4 fresh hoops to carry on.
Here's the answer to your question. The Canadian Tire Dodge down pit lane.
22 of Scott Steckley making a stop during the caution period. Quick crew to go to work on the right side for fresh Goodyears.
So he too will take right side tires. A little bit slow stop for the 22 of Steckley. The 3 of Hathaway, the 60 of Beauchamp also getting some tires. Fitzpatrick continues to lead. Siebert now in second. Welcome back to the AW 300 on TSN. It's the 5th race of the 2012 NASCAR Canadian Tire Series presented by Mobil 1. It's restart number 5 as we're working lap 176 as we ride along with James Van Domselaar. J.R. Fitzpatrick leads with the 69 of Trevor Siebert right beside.
Up through the gearbox one more time, down into turn 1. 84, J.R. Fitzpatrick gets the measure. Oh, we got some action for second.
Boy, there's tons of room on these restarts. It looks like a land rush as they all spread out going into turn number 1. But it is Fitzpatrick who maintains that top spot. He's got his good buddy. We talked about them at the top of the show. They're good friends off the racetrack, but they're hard racers on it, and they've been swapping the lead a number of times. D.J. Kennington in second now, chasing that Equipment Express Chevy.
Give a call to Siebert. He's doing a yeoman's job trying to get the job done on the outside, but it's not the place to be. He's losing spot after spot.
And now a change for the lead as the Castrol Edge Dodge of D.J Kennington goes through for top spot, and Andrew Ranger's going to surprise the 84 of J.R. Fitzpatrick and get up alongside the Chevy.
Well, Dave, not a big surprise. He has all 4 of his new Goodyears, so he's getting all the goodie out of them Goodyears as quick as he can.
And he's using every inch of this racetrack. He almost touched the grass at one point trying to get underneath the 84. Jim White in the 24 having a very solid run as we take a look at this battle for 6th place between the Mopar Dodge of Ron Beauchamp and the 22 of Scott Steckley. So Steckley now with fresh tires on the right side, and he is coming.
Ron Beauchamp Jr., that car's been loose all night, but the track temperature has gone down by 10 or 12 degrees. That will in itself tighten up the racetrack.
That really has cooled off here in Vernon, BC. Normally it's quite warm throughout the race, but tonight cold wind blows and it's chilled things down.
22 Scott Steckley looks like he might get the spot this time by as they drive down the backstretch off of turn 2.
Gotta be impressed. We talked about him earlier with that 90 Dodge just ahead of this battle of Martin Edouard. There you see him. He's just quietly keeping in the fray in this race here tonight. And around goes the 27 for the lead. The 17 back to 2nd spot. And a battle deeper behind them as well as the 84 of J.R. Fitzpatrick gets pushed up the hill.
Well, the battle for 3rd spot was getting pretty heated up there. We got the 22, the 90, and the 84, and the 24 comes out with the spot.
And now the 90 is working on the 84 of J.R. Fitzpatrick. Steckley up on the outside, making that outside groove work.
Wow, as the track temperature goes down, Dave, that outside groove, whoa, he got a little whack job on the way through there. But what happens, if you can get up on the outside, that allows the guy on the inside not to use the whole racetrack getting off the corner, and you can pin him down.
Dilly, the 02, spun just a few laps ago. Now he's battling for 5th position with this group, and we got a car around. It's the 44 of Jared Whistle. He'll keep going, but the caution flag is out once again here at Motoplex Speedway, just as things were heating up in the front of the field. Wow, what a race.
Wow, this will mix things up again because we're going to have crew chiefs talking about coming to get left sides. Whoa, look at all the damage on that race car.
Hood crumpled on the A&W number 21 of Jason White, so no doubt he'll have to swing down pit lane, but here comes the 17.
Whitey and the crew going to work to put them fresh Goodyears on the left-hand side. That'll wake that car up. Not that it hasn't been strong already, but that car will come to life.
Another strong car, the 69 Trevor Siebert in for right side tires, but your new leader is the 27 of Andrew Ranger. Two-time NASCAR Canadian Tire Series champion Andrew Ranger leads the field as we get ready for restart number 6 here in the A&W 300. He's got Jim White on his outside, the green flag up in the air once again.
Wow, what a great night for the 24. It is a super night for him. He's driving that 22 car like he's been driving it all his life.
And the 02 of Mark Dilley getting the VTEC free pass during that caution, but we can't say it enough. An impressive run for the Veloz number 90 of Martin Edouard, now battling with last year's NASCAR Canadian Tire Series champion, the 22 of Scott Steckley. How about that?
Steckley flying the nose hard down into turn 3, trying not to overdrive the corner.
Not overdriving it, but just enough to take the lead as he works to the inside of the 27 of Andrew Ranger, a couple of two-time series champions, swapping the lead with under 100 laps to go now.
Side by side down the backstretch. Ronnie Beauchamp just watching this act, trying to steal a spot if somebody slips.
Jim White, home track knowledge has to help as he's finding that outside groove is starting to work in a little bit. He's able to hang out there.
Well, you know, being a good driver and knowing the racetrack doesn't hurt, but sitting in one of the best rides in NASCAR doesn't hurt either.
On board the number 3 of Jason Hathaway. This car was well off the pace earlier on this race. He's back up inside the top 10, currently running in 6th spot, chasing the 60 of Ron Beauchamp Jr. So a good turnaround for that 3 team.
Well, he was in danger of going a lap down earlier on, but now has marched it right back up to the top 10.
Now, just to give you an update on who has stopped and who hasn't, there's only one car in the field that hasn't yet taken left side Goodyears, and it's the 84 of J.R. Fitzpatrick. Everybody else is completely done with their pit stop strategies.
Well, it's not a bad strategy. If we have some cautions in the late going, JR could come to pit road and have the freshest tires.
Battle for 5th, the 90 of Martin on the inside, the Mopar Dodge of Ron Beauchamp Beauchamp Jr. upstairs, and that outside groove is coming in just nicely. Thank you very much as Ron Beauchamp Jr. takes over the spot. Now here comes the snap-on dodge. The 3 of Hathaway, a little bump and run in the 24 of White.
He's digging and he's digging hard. Everybody knows with the last 100 laps to go, you got to bring it all to the table. No sense laying off now.
Boy, there are comers and goers in this one, and the 3 car is definitely a comer. He has historically done pretty well here at Motoplex Speedway, and he's showing that strength once again as the Rockstar Energy number 3 Dodge works to the inside of the 27 and into second spot now.
What a great speed shot down the grass. You see those cars hauling the nose up off the corner. It gives you a real sensation of how much power they really have.
Man who's won here in the past, the 22 of Scott Steckley is now able to open up a little bit of a gap on the rest of the field as he works around the 14 of Van Domselaar, and we've got a caution car around, and it is the 44 of Jared Whistle. So the second time that car goes backwards on the racetrack, and that'll draw the caution once again, and that'll bring the 22 back to the rest of the pack, but Steckley still leads. The number 3 of Jason Hathaway has gone from the front to the back and now back to the front as he gives the number 22 Canadian Tire Dodge of Scott Steckley a run for his money in the A&W 300. We're back up to speed here in the Motoplex Speedway in Vernon, BC.
Oh, they're leaning on each other down into turn 1. Up off of turn 2, Steckley's got the preferred groove and will get the spot. Here comes the 17 of D.J Kennington.
Have to mention the 84 of J.R. Fitzpatrick came in for his left side tires last time around. He restarts just inside the top 10.
Contact between the 17 and the 3, and DJ had to back off and gather things up. Ronnie Beauchamp Jr. in the 60 has settled in nicely as well.
65 laps to go here in the AW 300. You can see where your favorite driver is running in the ticker on the top of the screen, but you know what? You can almost see them in one shot here on the Speedway. They're running that close together and have been running that close together all night long.
Look at that 17 turn the middle. We talked about it at the opening. We've talked about the last couple races. DJ is able to get that car to settle on entrance, turn the middle, and drive up off, and it's very smooth off the corner. That's good for the tires, and it's good for speed.
On board with Andrew Ranger in 7th position. The 84 of Fitzpatrick just went by on the inside, and you have to think that the 27 will be thinking that he pitted too early. He put his tires on at lap 160.
Well, that's a lot of laps in the tires, but he was back in the field. He had to do what he had to do to gain track position.
For second spot now, the 17 of Kennington to the inside of the 3 of Jason Hathaway. And Billy, what makes that 17 car so good?
Well, they've got a spring and shock combination figured out. Dave White, the crew chief, and DJ Kennington, they spend hours together out in the shop. The shop's right behind DJ's house. So they work and they work and they work, and they're starting to see the fruits of their labor.
First look at the 47 of LP Dumoulin having a good run in the WeatherTech.ca Dodge as he battles with the 21 of Jason White. Little wiggle out of White as he sits in 8th place, but having a good run inside the top 10.
The 84 of J.R. Fitzpatrick trying to muscle his way back into the top 10.
Back inside the top 5, that's the battle there between the 90 and the 84, and Fitzpatrick is trying to rattle the rookie's chain.
While he's in there running hard, look at the front rotors blowing on the 84. He's working hard, and we got a challenge for the lead.
The 17 and DJ Kennington using that inside lane.
Clear, all clear. New leader, 17.
And the 22 of Scott Steckley will tuck in behind.
Well, that was Dave White, crew chief for the 17, cheering on his driver, telling him that he's the new leader.
It's got to feel good when your crew chief says you're the new leader.
Absolutely. You know, but they're on a roll, and they work so tightly together. They're like brothers. I'm telling you, they communicate real well.
Battle for 5th spot between the 84 of Fitzpatrick and Jim White gives him a little bumper tag, and White will move to the inside, a little slide in the back end, and here it comes right back at you, says J.R. Fitzpatrick.
Well, I was going to say that as soon as it happened. The boy better learn that J.R. Fitzpatrick will race you the way you race him. And if you want to live by the bumper, you might have to die by the bumper.
Yeah, we've seen Fitzpatrick and DJ Kennington race side by side for many laps without touching, but Fitzpatrick not afraid to mix it up with the 24 of Jim White. The 90 of Martin Hall. Whoa, they got together hard.
24, keep hitting me.
No sense crying about it. You know, they're talking on the radio. He says he hit me. Well, how many times, we keep saying you got to drive these guys clean so you get raced back clean. You mess around, you'll get the horn.
Jim White had a tire rub in the left front corner. That appears to have gone away, but the 90 got through, and here comes his brother Jason White, AEW number 21, quietly working his way back up. He's got no hood, but that doesn't really seem to be bothering that car too much. Yeah, there, back in the front, your leader, the 17 of Kennington.
Oh, he's just driving away. Now he's on cruise control one more time, and he's driving away from the rest of the field.
Scott Steckley in second position, the 3 car of Jason Hathaway, as they've been able to open up a bit of a gap now on the rest of the field, and Hathaway starts to work for second spot.
He's really working that thing up off the corner. He's sideways. He's getting all kinds of sideways, trying to make sure he's getting everything he can out of that number 3 Dodge.
After Hathaway had such a dismal 2011, looks like 2012 is turning around. He's been on the podium and looking for another one here tonight. The number 17 of D.J. Kennington leads the A&W 300 high above Motoplex Speedway. Just 14 laps to go here in the 5th round of the 2012 NASCAR Canadian Tire Series Championship.
D.J. Kennington on cruise control, and if he can hold it together for 14 more laps, that will make 3 in a row on the ovals for this team. They've got something figured out.
And what a great race to start off the Western Swing. I'm Dave Bradley. With me in the booth is Billy Rouse Jr. Todd Lewis, as always, is trackside. And the 3-car snap-on Dodge of Jason Hathaway now in second position. That car is a rocket ship tonight.
At one point, Hathaway was ready to go a lap down. The crew did some real good pit work, and now he's in second spot.
This dice for 5th spot has been going on for the last 25 laps. Martin Awa on the 90 on the inside. There is Beauchamp in the 60 and Jason White in the 21. No hood, no problem, but now he's inside the top 5.
Well, the 90 car has been working the guys on the outside. There's no numbers or anything left on the right-hand side of that car. It's all black rubber.
10 laps to go. Can anybody catch that man? The 17 of D.J. Kennington. He mentioned off the top of the show he was just going to cruise around. Well, now he is in position to put it on cruise control and ride his way to this 3rd straight win. 4th spot now up for grabs here between the 84 and the 21. Fitzpatrick has it, and Jason White wants it.
Well, Jason White, I wonder if he heard on the radio about his brother getting roughed up by the 84 if he'll retaliate, but he's raced JR for several seasons now. It'll just be good driver against driver battle.
And big difference between the 21 and the 24 is Jason White running the full season. He doesn't want it coming back to him, but wait a second, he's giving him a little bumper.
You got to remember the 21 car is at his home track, the home sponsored race. He's looking to put that big number on the board here tonight.
Now you see the brakes glowing on a lot of these machines as they're working these race cars hard in the final few laps. D.J. Kennington has led for a race high 112 laps here in the A&W 300 and has rarely put a tire wrong. Martin Awa has now caught the 21 as the 84 of J.R. Fitzpatrick unable to stretch a gap on the 21 of White. Look at the tire rubs on the 90 too. He's been working hard.
Oh, this is short track thunder on a Saturday night, that's for sure.
The rotors glowing on the 84 of J.R. Fitzpatrick, but look at the rotors on the 17 completely cooled off as D.J. Kennington able to look in his mirror. He's able to hit his marks. He is setting the pace in the final few laps.
The thing is certainly looking really strong. Nice blue flames out the side, not too yellow, making lots of power on that 17 Castro Dodge.
Under 2 laps to go for the 17 of D.J. Kennington as he works through turn 3. Now into turn 4. He should see the white flag this time by. 1 to go for D.J. Kennington.
1 to go and nobody challenging. Dave White will be on the radio telling him just to hit your marks. 1 to go and the money's in the bank.
Jason Hathaway sitting in second position, but a little bit too far back to mount a challenge off of turn number 4. It will be 3 wins in a row for D.J. Kennington.
What a race here in Vernon, British Columbia. I'm telling you, you've seen a show here tonight. 3 in a row by that crew right there. The Castro Dodge, pretty hard to beat tonight.
And Motoplex Speedway has been good to the Castrol team. Kennington walked into the Speedway as the points leader and raced his way into the lead with tonight's win. Kennington with 14 sits second in all-time NASCAR Canadian Tire Series wins.
D.J. Kennington ready to climb out of that number 17 Castrol Edge Dodge. And oh yeah, he gets the big shower of water for that one. Big pump and celebration with the crowd. I don't think you mind getting soaked when you score a hat trick like that. Another dominating victory.
Unbelievable race car, man. I mean, it turns the center of the corner so well, and it stays under me for so long. It's just unbelievable. I mean, this Castrol Edge, Mahindra Tractors, Brian Cathcart, Dodge, Hitachi Power Tools, Mopar, everybody that lends us a hand, man, thanks so much, because this is just awesome. It's my race team, man. Can't say enough about them. They're just awesome. And my old man, he works his butt off for me, Todd, and everybody whines and complains about my motors, but we'll sell one to anyone because he's the best in the business, and I'm telling you right now, I love him to death. I miss you, Jamie. I love you, and we'll get on to the next one.
Big happy birthday a day early now for D.J. Kennington. Congratulations.
Smile of a happy man, the winner here of the A&W 300. We'll take a look at the top 10. Finishing in 10th spot, Noel Dowler, a solid run. And how about Jim White in the 24, Martin Roy in the 90, and Jason White coming home with a career best 5th on an oval. And Todd's with your second place finisher.
There's some smiles on Team 3. Red, another podium finish. You guys are on a bit of a roll. Didn't look good early in this one. You really had to battle back.
Yeah, it didn't look good early. I was pretty upset in there going a lap down and running near the back. But I don't know, we made a bunch of adjustments for qualifying. Had a good qualifying run, but I mean, it was only good for 30, 40 laps and went straight backwards. But the boys, we made a lot of adjustments on it. We took some tires, took some gas, and I was pretty hot under the collar. We were going to drive the hell out of her tonight.
Well done.
And that'll move Hathaway up into the 5th spot as we take a look at the point standings. But the big mover is the 17 of D.J. Kennington, who opens up an enormous lead, especially with his new point structure.
Well, Dave, with the structure, it's important to lead laps and lead lots of them because you want all the points you can get.
How about that trophy, Billy? What a neat one for winning the A&W 300. This NASCAR race has been brought to you by E3 Spark Plugs, born to burn. And by Mahindra, the world's #1 selling tractor.
Well, as they celebrate 3 in a row, Dave, we're heading for the runways of Edmonton, and they have not been that good to the Castrol Dodge.
Yeah, he's finished outside the top 10 the last 2 times we've raced there. For all of us here at Fuel and TSN, we thank you for watching. We'll see you in Edmonton.